So my name is Joana Chicau, and I've been working with choreography and programming languages. And in the end, actually what I've been mostly doing is live performances with the two languages together. I thought maybe it could be interesting to look at a bit at what choreography means, let's say in general, and then also particularly to me. So choreography, there is this common definition that stands for writing movement. And so it's generally very much tied to dance and indeed writing. But it can grow into more ambiguous definitions, and choreo actually means hand, space. There is very much this connection with making space, and opening space. Well, to me, choreography, it's more or less this. So it's a language, but it's also a way to think about bodies, about movement, propositions, statements, discourse. It's also interesting to me to think about the choreographic as something independent from what actually happens and unfolds in space. So the idea of choreography as an autonomous scriptural artifact that opens space for then an ephemeral, usually movement event to happen. So that actually choreography can really be this piece of text as much as a script and in programming is. So well, yeah, this is more or less my formula. That I use choreographic languages with programming languages, and these are mostly web-based, so JavaScript functions and these kind of languages that are used for web interfaces. And then I present it as a live performance. So very recently I had this opportunity to go to Buenos Aires in Argentina to learn tango. So before I was more relating to classical or contemporary dance, actually very much looking at postmodern dance, which is also what somehow made contemporary dance reach what we can see these days in many art institutes and theaters. So well, yeah, so I must say that this was a little bit of parenthesis for me to suddenly be exposed to a new dance genre and really having to understand its origins, which are a lot older than what I was usually looking at, but also understanding how today people still relate to it. So why does tango still exist these days, and how people use it to transform it to these days. So, well, this is how I came up with Tango for Us Too. It comes inside a bigger project which is called Ways of Moving, and I hope to learn different genres and really come up with different coding pieces and ways of thinking choreography. So I thought it could be nice to show you a little bit of this. Tango for Us Too is a reflection on what I could collect in my stay in Buenos Aires. And I think one of the things that was very relevant for me is to understand that tango is a conversation, but it's based on improvisation. So it's 100% improvisation. So it somehow relates very much to how we relate to communication anyway. I must say that I was a bit lost in between the techniques of tango and also the poetics. And what I will show you now is some snippets of interviews and conversations that I had with many choreographers and dancers. And I will highlight that the whole piece also integrates actual movement in space, but here I will just show a little bit of the code and of how I translated these into these web interfaces. Okay, I will add some sound. So I have this code online on GitHub. Here it's the whole code, but I will only use a little bit.
It is a language insert. A language is nomadic. The resound this choreo. It is space self.
Well, yeah. So I was playing a little bit with this idea of conversation and mistranslations and having something that was created pretty much in the, let's say, something like 150 or 200 years ago, and having it still being rebuilt as a choreographic language. So we see nowadays Tango being used in queer communities in totally different contexts, and it's not anymore a one-to-one thing, but actually a shared language and something that is actually growing into so many different forms. So yeah, I just wanted to share this experience with you, which for me was very revealing. And yes, well, I hope that one day I will perform this, also the whole piece, and get to use those shoes, which are challenging. Yes, there is more information if you want to look up online. I will also be doing a performance at Millennium Gallery, and that was a little bit the seed for all these other performances that I've been developing later on. Well, yes, and thank you for listening.
I enjoyed your definitions of choreography and thought that they could also be definitions of computing and computers about environments where movements happen and statements are formed and things. How do you think about the relationship between programming languages and choreographic languages? Is it the same, or what are the differences?
I think it can be very similar. So both are two languages, so you have a writing space for them. And even if we think of live coding as this improvisation environment, also choreography can be. So a language can be used to structure, so it can be like an a priori writing space and language to be used to define something to happen afterwards. But it might as well be something for documentation, so to like in every live coding event, you write something in the moment, and that can also be saved as a script and something to be reproduced later. And choreography is very much in line with these ways of writing, and also how you define. Well, I don't really like to talk about space and time. I find that it's too much of a duality, and well, there's a lot more than that. But indeed, you can define space and time also in these other programming languages, in being web interfaces or being physical space. So there's a lot about instruction-based languages that share these qualities and these parameters, I guess.
When you perform, when you say that you want to perform with your shoes, so you get somebody else to go, or you're going to go from computer to stage? How is it?
The moment, well, it would be nicer if you would see that live, but in the moment that I need to perform, I automate a few functions and I will be dancing with a computer.
So then, does that mean that then the choreography score is really in code?
Yeah, well, indeed, so I really focus on the fact that I have two languages that I'm using. But I also like moving in space. I think it adds another dimension to actually thinking what these definitions mean and what they can mean to actual bodies and
So
the
you
relationality.
could redefine the score by improvising the choreography itself?
Yes, there is always some improvisation in it, but there's also a structure that I follow. So every time I balance these two. And also the fact that I use sometimes existing interfaces like Google, it actually sometimes they do need me to adapt because Google keeps on changing tags and things in their scripts. So there is some kind of improvisation inherent to the fact that I'm using scripts that are even not mine, that are being appropriated. So yeah, I guess there's different levels of improvisation in what I do, and not necessarily having something